Hey guys, Miss Marcus here, and as you can see, the Marcus Mafia MLO Master League online. And today, if you can't tell from the title of this episode, I have two games and a ninth for you today. Two games and a ninth. What does that mean? Well, you will see soon enough. You'll see the ninth game is the second game. The ninth 1/9, ninth, a ninth of a game. What does that mean? Anyway, in the first game of this episode, we faced off against a guy who, if I remember correctly, it was a relatively decent team. But yes, he was, I think that's Russian, so I'll give a guess it's from Russia. Probably, I think it's Russian, I'm not sure. But of course, we're going for that third consecutive win, which was always a good thing to go for. I mean, you always want to get more points on the board, really. That's basically what it's all about. But he had a good team, like I was saying, at Kalu and Galaskin, Glaitan, and not Glaitan, Olaitan, Shabalala Traore and whatnot. But he had a guy up front called Veyo Kole. The guy on the right hand side, I cannot for the life of me read that because that's just ridiculous. I think it's Veyo Kole or Veyo Kele or Vehokele, I think is his name, Veto Kele. And this guy was probably the most predictable player ever. The most predictable player from kickoff. I would show it so many times, but I'm not going to because it was so goddamn ridiculous every single time what he did from kickoff. So, basically, I won't show it again, but as you saw at the beginning, I stole the ball from him straight away when he ran at me with Veto Kole, and basically, he did that every single time the game started. He ran the exact same way for about 7 or 8 times. It was a bit ridiculous. But anyway, in the first minutes of the match, Yesh got a nice shot away there. Ricardo Fati cleared the ball basically off the line, but then Ricardo Fati gives the ball away, gives it straight to Traore. Traore gives it to Galazka. Galazka to Veto Kole, and Veto Kele, or Veto Kole, whatever his name is, scores into the bottom corner. Now, I was a bit pissed off because I was like, well, I didn't really deserve to lose the goal in the beginning, like 10 minutes of the match, but I just ran through Vidra again. Vidra got a shot away. It was a good, decent shot, and it kind of came to Sevilla, who banged it off the crossbar, and it bounced in off the line. So, coming up roughly 10 minutes later here, Ricardo Fati picks up the ball, plays it to Sevilla himself. He just runs past Rosenthal, just runs away from him, doesn't even decide to defend properly, and just pops it in the back of the net. So 2-1, after like roughly about 20 odd minutes. And then it came to here, okay, and this is the most ridiculous thing ever. Zicardo, I told him to clear the ball, and for some reason decides to take an extra touch, gives it to Salomon Kalou, and Salomon Kalou popped it in the back of the net. And I was a bit pissed off because I didn't really think that he deserved to actually score a second goal, but coming to like 5 minutes into the end of the half, and Makeda scores a slide tackle goal, which I really hate with it. It's the most ridiculous goal ever. It's not like if that had been anywhere else in the field, it would probably give like a red card to me or a red card to the defender because it's a slide tackle, takeout, whatever the hell it is. But at half time, it was 3-2 to me. And look at the pass completion percentage, so high, 74 for me, 76 for him. And it makes no sense because we had not played well at all. I personally had not thought I'd played well at all. But into the 48th minute, basically from kickoff, I got the ball back with Vidra and popped it into the back of the net like an absolute animal. Of course, Vidra he wasn't informed for this particular match. I think he was on light blue or whatever, but it didn't really matter for me because I'm just beast with any players. It doesn't matter if they're good or not. And in I think it was the 60th minute, Makeda got the goal, and then Makeda here really should have scored. I don't know what it was doing here. I skinned past this player. I should have maybe just shot, but for some reason tried to sweat it back or cut it back, whatever the hell you want to say, to try and score with Vidra, and it didn't really work for me. So, coming into the last minutes of the match here, Makeda gets the ball, and here's where I should have given the ball to someone else, but for some reason give it to Makeda, run past Rosenthal, he takes me out, the referee gets the ball, the goalkeeper gets the ball, and the referee gives the penalty. Now it was actually a relatively decent thing, and then I missed the penalty with Charlie Mulgrew. But that's what I thought. Maybe I should have given the ball to maybe like John Joe Shelby or someone to score their first goal for the club. But no, that's not my style. It's about missing that penalty. But 5-2 was the final score. So I mean 7 goals in the first game. It was actually really nice for me to score quite a lot of goals. And Makeda got the man of the match. I think because he scored 2 and assisted 1. Or did he score 1 and assist 2? Oh, I don't know what he did, but it doesn't matter because we got 8 points from that match for our team rating, and we got 100 odd. How many points? I don't even going to calculate that right now. I think it was 106, but it might have been more. I don't know, because I'm not going to 20 times 1.45 times 4, which is just ridiculous, by the way. But into the second match, and like I was saying, a ninth of a match. What does that say to you? So this was against a guy called Donnie Bros, the Juventus FC. And his difference in team strength was small, and if I'd won the game, I would get 192 points, and I would go out and buy someone, because I, of course, have won like 4 games in a row now, so I've got like 400, 500 points to actually spend. But with 192 points, it would actually give me like odd, like 600 odd or 700 odd, or however many points I could actually get. And I was like, I'm going to go out and buy a centre back, because I have 2 relatively decent centre backs, and I have 1 dreadful centre back on the bench in Roderick. But I went out and looked at the guy's team, and he had the likes of Villalba and Wellington Nem and Park Ji-sung. I've not actually seen him for absolutely ages. Isla, Scott Parker, again, Latoya. He's got Stark in goal and Icardi up front. He's also got quite a nice bench. He's got Kim So-kyung on the bench as well. So the guy kicked off, and you had Andres Weimann actually started. And I could see from the start that he was going to be a good player. Like, he was going to be a great player. And then he gave the ball straight to Jonjo Shelvey. Shelvey to Vidra. Vidra just, I sort of ran a little bit for a bit, tried to play it for Shelvey. Did not work at all. He got off his goalkeeper play. He tried to play some good possession football here. Vist eventually gets it back, gives it to Vidra. Vidra tries to run past, does not give it to Isla. Gives the ball to no one, but Mulgrew just comes back, steals it. Mulgrew comes from absolutely nowhere, by the way, and scores that goal. But comes to the fourth minute, having me scored, and again he gives the ball away very cheaply from kickoff, and he tried to get forward again, like I was saying, and just keep that 9th in your head, because you'll see it in a moment. Mulgrew here clears the ball, and I try and head it forward with Vidra, and actually Vidra does a relatively decent job of just keeping it in sort of play for me anyway. And he sort of passes the ball about for a bit, passes it about, gives it to Bernat, and Bernat doesn't really do much. I just sort of kept running and sort of slowing down his players with Makeda, who's up at the top there, as you can see. And I play a ball through to Makeda here, and he steals it back, really fortunately, from Villalba. And from here, he takes a ridiculous shot and scores past Stark. Now, as you can see, it was the 10th minute when I actually scored. Well, 9 minutes 42, but I'm going to make it 10 minutes. Hence the 9th, because the match got abandoned due to discommunication. Because communication with your other opponent has been lost. And I thought, okay, fair enough, he quit. I would have quit if I conceded a goal like that. It was ridiculous. But the match actually properly got abandoned and disconnected, and I won, and I got 9 points. And I was happy, and I got 192 points to spend. So that helped even better, because I didn't really think I would have actually won that game. Even if I was winning 2-0 at halftime, I would have probably got beat 3-2 final score. But that doesn't really matter, because with 192 points, I went out and got rid of Pacini, and I went out and bought Pareja. Now, Pareja has been bought by like 400 odd people or whatever, but I was going to actually buy someone else. I was going to buy Kante Wolf or Stephen Kelly or someone, but I thought, nah, I'm going to go with the whatever I want. And I just wanted Pareja. So I went out and bought Pareja. So I bought Pareja, and I just said I bought Pareja probably about 7 times in the last like 40 seconds. But into the final match of this episode, and it was against a guy who had Olympique Lyonnais as his base team. And if I won, I would get 140 points. So basically, I'd recoup quite a lot of the money I just spent. A lot of the points I just spent. But Sevilla was not happy in this match for whatever reason. I had to play Gilazga. But Pareja did start in place of Rakitsky, and so my backline is Mulgrew, Pareja, Rakitsky, Mulgrew, Pareja, Zicardo, and Raj Taral. But in this game, I think I played Vist at right back, because he can actually play there, and he actually is better than Raj Taral. So that sort of changed my mind a bit about Raj Taral playing in general. But now, of course, that I got rid of Pacini, I do need a right back to sit on the bench. So maybe Rashtaral might be my right back. I don't know. I'll just think about it. But in the first minutes of the match here, I get the ball with Vidra, try to get past some players, can't get past anyone. Makeda, whoever gets it, gets a nice shot away very early on in the game. Could have potentially have actually scored that, but I didn't score it, and I was a bit disappointed with myself. But into the 12th minute of the match, Mulgrew on the ball, gives it to Vidra. Vidra should have given it back to Charlie Mulgrew, but for whatever reason, it comes straight through to Mattia Vidra. Vidra tries to get a shot away, can't get a shot away. Makeda gets it back, however, runs past Gorter at left back, runs back for a little bit more and just pops into the back of the net. Keeping composed, it's what it's all about. But into the 20th minute here, I give away a free kick. David Suazo takes it, and David Suazo pops it into the top corner. So I wasn't really I actually didn't want him. I didn't actually watch the replay of the free kick, which is probably quite bad for me, because whenever I score a free kick, usually people watch the replay, but I don't know. But anyway, my pass completion percentage actually has increased relatively generally over the last like 10 episodes. It's actually gone from being like an average of 54 to now an average of like 60 odd, which is quite nice for me anyway. But into the 64th minute here, and Ackerberg down his left hand side. Vist can't keep up with him, tries to get the ball back, can't get the ball back, and Jerome scores a header. Now this was the most frustrating thing ever because he had not deserved that at all in my personal opinion. So with this, I went full out attack, and you can sort of see it now because Zicaro's the only one Pareja's the only one who's back there. So I give it to Pareja gives it back to Mulgrew gets it here eventually, clears it, and doesn't go anywhere with the clearance because I can't head the ball down with Makeda. But it doesn't really matter because it gets the ball to John Joe Shelby down this left-hand side. I try to cross it down, can't cross it down, give it to Makeda again. Makeda to Galazka plays a dreadful through ball, doesn't go to anyone, but he does really poor clearance. And I noticed that, of course, Galazka's being played on side by the guy who just cleared the ball, and Galazka popped it in the back of the net literally 5 minutes after he had scored the goal, which the second goal for him. And into the last minutes of the match here, and got a shot away with Makeda, and he actually made it go out for a corner. He could have probably actually have caught that. But went out for a corner kick, gave it to Charlie Mulgrew as you usually do. I went full power by mistake. I didn't actually mean to, and it came to Vidra, and Vidra actually popped it into the back of the net. So Vidra scored one goal. I don't remember if he scored the other one, but it doesn't really matter because 3-2 was the fight. Makeda scored the other one. Makeda and Galazka. But 3-2 to me, final score, same pass completion percentage for me. Oh, actually, I went up by 1% at full time, and Vis got the man of the match, so I might have to actually keep him at right back. So yes, so 2 matches and a 9th. How special today. You never usually see a 9th of a match. Well, some of you might, but I don't know. But yeah, if you have enjoyed this episode of Master League Online, subscribe my channel for more, and catch you later.